we have our Assistant City Manager, Ms. Maricela Gonzalez. Ms. Maricela Gonzalez, come on over. I mentioned at the start. Come in. I mentioned at the start of this All Heart podcast that we were going to recap important things that, or certain things. I shouldn't say important. I should say certain things that decisions that were made in our last city commission meeting, because all things are important. All things affect each and every one of you out there. We want to make sure that we put it out there, but we want to make sure that we highlight some of those things that I feel that you should know. So one of the things that Ms. Maricela Gonzalez here, Assistant City Manager, thank you for being here on our first ever podcast. We want to talk about a little bit about the Donna Memorial Sports Complex, something that, we're very excited about. We haven't had a park here built in, I could go back to when I was running around, probably 10, 11 years old. So that was a very long time ago, let me tell you. But Ms. Maricela Gonzalez will shed a little light as to what is happening or what is going on with our Donna Sports Complex. Ms. Maricela.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, George. Yeah, so this is exciting news here for the city and for our community. One of the things that we want to go ahead and highlight here is that the city of Donna is looking and exciting news coming to our community. We would like to introduce that the city of Donna has the Donna Sports Memorial Complex coming to you soon. This sports memorial complex will consist of a fourplex baseball field, 1 mile walking trail located at 200 East South Avenue. This, once again, for those in the community, will be familiar more with the Altas Palmas location. And this would actually be supporting our youth, right? This will consist of construction in about in 9 months. We're looking at 9 months construction, and it's about 19 acres of land that we're looking to do construction on. And our main goal here is, of course, to organize sports, encourage healthy outdoor activity for our residents, and also will consist of a phase 2 playground, splash pad, and also a dog park, 300 to 400 dog park, 300 to 400 APA baseball, also covering a baseball area and pavilion. So we're looking to break ground, also hosting a groundbreaking ceremony on September the 3rd at 10 a.m. And this is a great announcement here from our city. And also we're encouraging our community to come out on that day. And this would all could not be possible. I just want to go ahead and give thanks also to Rico Guerrero. He is our Parks and Recs director. And this could not be possible without him and all the work that he has done for our city. So I want to touch on those.
Well, thank you for that information. I know I've been getting a lot of calls and texts and so forth about, hey, when is that park coming around? Well, it's here. We're going to have a groundbreaking and so forth. One other thing I want to tell you about this park. This is going to be, it'll have a walking trail. A walking trail that we had never had here in the city of Donna is finally coming here. You don't have to go to Wesco. You won't have to go to Wesco, Alamo, anywhere else. You're going to be here. It's going to be well lit. Another thing I want to say about this is that we have gotten a grant for a tree grant that we will landscape. It'll look beautiful. It's going to be well lit, so you can go out there, especially those of you that don't have time during the day to go out there and walk, exercise, and so forth. It'll be well lit for you to go out there at night and enjoy some quality time with your family. So apart from the hike and bike trail that's coming from Wesco this way, I want to thank, of course, our commissioner, Mr. David Fuentes, for helping us and collaborating with us and bringing that walking trail, hike and bike trail over here. Thank you, Commissioner Fuentes. Anything else on that, George?
No, just excited to finally break ground, Mayor. Again, this is phase 1 of 2 phases, right? So overall investment the city of Donna is making for our audience out there is approximately 4.2 to 4.5 total million total dollars that are being invested. And so how do we get that? The first phase, the 2.3 $1 million phase was covered by a certificate of obligations that the city had pushed a few years ago. And then the rest is being covered through a congressional grant. And this is efforts by our own Congressman, Vicente Gonzalez. Unfortunately, the grant was actually awarded last year, but with the change of presidential administration and the revision in budget, kind of like what we're going through, that project was left out. Since then, we've geared up, we've reapplied, and we've been selected once again for this phase 2. We're just waiting for that budget to clear, hopefully here towards the end of the year. And then we should have that money's available for next year. And so the idea here, Mayor, and for the audience, is as soon as we're done with phase 1 construction, we should be jumping over to phase 2, right? And what to expect on the phase 2, I think it's going, I don't know, Maricela, I must have not heard that, but an amphitheater. The community's going to have an amphitheater out there, which is really cool. It's going to have a dog park. It's going to have workout machines. And what else is on that one?
And workout machines, the amphitheater that's going to seat about 200 to 300, 300 to 400 people.
So that should be really cool. It should be the next hotspot. But what makes that even interesting, maybe you touch base on the trail. The trail actually connects to the 7-mile long hike trail. So that 7 mile not turned into 8 miles. And then you add another mile on that north side trail that we're going to be doing. That puts it at a total of 9 total miles of walk, hike, and bike trails in Donna. It's awesome. I don't know of any other community besides Mission and McAllen that have that many mounts. We're going to get that trail certified so that we can encourage competition, those that like to run, those that like to walk in this. And again, if you haven't seen the outlay or the outline of the trail, it's none of it, for the most part, is on any major thoroughfare or anything like that. So you're not on the road. And along with this Texas A&M tree grant that you, Mayor, and along with the council approved, it should be really pretty, man. It should be really nice because you're going to have all sorts of trees lined up. Again, that's the vision. To give Donna something they've never had and to give the community a reason to go out there and really enjoy a nice walk with your spouse, with your kids, with your dog. You know, so I'm excited, really excited to come in at the right time here in Donna.
No. A lot of great things. Again, this is just one item on the agenda, which was a sports park. It is coming, and it's coming soon. We look forward to that. And staying on the same topic, we talked about beautification and so forth. One of the things that people want is beautification of the city. And a lot of it starts with ordinances, with code enforcement and so forth. Now, I know some of these things are going to be new out there, and some of you are a little bit upset over some of the ordinances and so forth. But if we want to beautify our city, there's got to be some changes. And I know changes are hard and so forth, but we're not going to leave you alone. We talk about, ordinances for weedy lots. We talk about ordinances for tractor trailers on our streets and so forth. We will be talking to those owners of those tractor trailers. I think we're going to come up with a solution for you. It's not just, hey, get it out of here and that's it. No, this is your city. Again, I can't focus or what's the word? I can't, emphasize that enough. This is your city. We're not going to put you in a rough situation. We're going to work with you. But when it comes to beautification, we talk about ordinances, we talk about code enforcement and so forth. Our code enforcers are out there, as some of you know, because I've been getting the calls, and I know the other commissioners have as well, apart from our city manager, assistant city manager, and so forth. But rest assured, we will make things right, and all in the goal of beautifying our city. You want to talk a little bit about some ordinances, an ordinance or two? These are things that these are items that were on the agenda this past week. Mr. Pena.
Yes, Mayor, almost feels like we're having council meeting again. This is your thing.
We'll try to keep it shorter. Our meetings are about 4 hours long, 5 hours long, and I mean we talk about things because they're important. They're important, and I thank our city commission, because I've been in commissions before where it was about 5-10 minute meetings, and I would get out and say, man, it took me longer to get from the parking lot to the chair up here. But no, these things are important to you. They're important to us because you all are important. Our city is important, and they deserve due diligence, and that's why we're here. But a few of the ordinances that are out there Mr. Bennett.
Yes, Mayor, and I'm happy that Maricela, my assistant city manager, let me elaborate a little bit on change. The most difficult thing that anybody can go through is change. But it takes change to make and change a community. I always reference the city of FAD. And why do I reference FAD? Because I look at FAD and I look at what Donna is going to be like in a matter of years, and it's going to surpass FAD. And why do I confidently say that? Well, we're in the same competitive pool. What makes FAD different from Donna? Well, just the fact they got a Topgolf and they got all sorts of stuff happening. But really, truly, what makes it different from Donna is their leadership. For a very long time, FAD was plagued with bad leadership, and that's the reason why the city never grew. No different than the city of Donna. City of Donna has a great leadership team in place now. You guys are all working together. And so when I drive through FAD, as a paramedic working the city of FAR, doing transfers back then and stuff like that, I've seen how much it's grown. And so I look at Topgolf and everybody, Topgolf.
Of course.
And I said, well, it's a matter of a couple of years or so, a few years before another competitor like Topgolf comes here, because in December, we're going to break ground into this $100 million project, the expansion of the International Bridge, something Maricela has been a part of since inception, right? And so what that's going to do for the city is just going to take it to another level, no different than FAD, right? But in order for us to do that, Mayor, we have to really get our stuff together, none of those words, right? But we really need to bring the city up to par. The city is very antiquated. One of the things that you tasked me with, along with the rest of the council, Commissioner Jackson, Commissioner Lugo, Commissioner Garza, and Commissioner Manuel Moreno, is, George, we need to beautify the city, right? So in order for us to beautify the city, we really have to look at our ordinances and see what the city has ordained and what we can enforce, right? And in doing so, we recognize, number one, that we lack code enforcers that were certified and licensed to enforce code. They weren't familiar with the process. They were great individuals who did what they could at the time, but since then, the city has gone a different direction and has now made that a mandate that these employees be certified and licensed as code enforcers. So because of that, one of the first things that we did, Mayor, is we looked at what we had available. And some of the ordinances off the bat were weedy lot ordinances, were junkyard vehicles, were vehicles that were left on the side of the road, unattended. And so that becomes a safety issue. And so if you've been following our meetings, you'll see that there's a lot of ordinances that are being revamped, but all this is in efforts to make Donna much more attractive and much more safer.
Correct.
But we do recognize that when you're changing an ordinance, when you're bringing it up to par, you're modernizing it, and more importantly, when you're enforcing an ordinance, that these changes are new to people. They're new for the community. So two things are happening. Number one, we're going to get better, Mayor. There's always room for improvement. We're going to get better at educating our community. So we're probably going to have a town hall meeting here soon, letting people know and talk about the ordinances and what they mean for them. Maybe some more open houses here at City Hall where people can come in and they have questions. Hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? We'll be able to answer. But educating them on the changes of the ordinance is one thing, but coming up with a solution. Again, I come from a trucker's family. My dad was a trucker. I still hold my CDL. I just renewed my DOT. So I understand that being a truck driver, especially of an 18-wheeler, in a community like Donna, where typically you're used to getting home, parking your rig, and then walking into your house and just kind of enjoying your time off, right? Now with the changes, Mayor, it's apparent that our community members are feeling it. And so internally, we're working on identifying a place potentially here in the near future that we can designate as a location where truckers can station their vehicles. Again, this is a conversation we've had in the past in anticipation of this happening. Ultimately, what I want to reassure you, Mayor, along with the audience and the viewers, is that if you're being impacted by the ordinance, rest assured that we're working on a solution for it. But it's also going to take it's going to take your part as well. A lot of the times we live in homes and properties where you can only park 2 vehicles, but maybe 4 vehicles are occupying the residence, right? That's just something that we're going to have to work through together as community and as government, because at the end of the day, if you haven't been through some of these streets, when you have vehicles parked on both sides, it becomes extremely narrow where only one vehicle goes through and the other vehicle needs to wait. So Again, in hopes to really change this community, make it look better, more attractable, not just for people to come and build homes, but for people to come establish businesses that create jobs. Again, I think this week alone, Mayor, you and I have had conversations with 2 companies, and I think between both, they'll create over 130, 150 jobs over the next maybe a year. One of them that's opening up in September. So it's interesting. But in order for us to recruit people, I always say this, and the dating game, right? You show up to the dance in your raggedy clothes, smelling bad, your hair undone. Well, you're more likely not going to attract a very good-looking opposite, gender. But if you show up looking sharp, like you do, Mayor, your sports coat, your jeans, your boots, your cowboy hat, you're probably going to attract a good-looking person, right? The same thing happens when it comes to a business. A business owner, do I really want to go to a community that looks bad, their crime is high, their facilities aren't upkeep? No, the answer is no. No, it's the reason why we're also getting a new annex building. You walk in here, our roofs are leaking, our building is old, it's been around since the 50s, I think, 60s. People don't want to invest in a community that doesn't invest in itself.
Right.
It's real simple. If you can't take care of yourself, tell me about you by showing me your house. Tell me about you by showing me your community. And as an outsider coming in, again, if you're from here, you're probably used to the north. That's the north. But as an outsider coming in, I can tell you that we have a lot of room for improvement. So, Mayor, you have tasked me and my staff, Maricela now as the Assistant City Manager, that we beautify the city. So we've started by revamping ordinances, where we've, in this last meeting, you, along with the council, have approved a building commission. This is first of its kind. We created 2, the building commission and a landmark commission. And I'll have you kind of explain to the audience what those 2 commissions do and how that really changes the game. Because since day one, Mayor, I walked into this problem. Homes that are used for people that are under the influence of drugs. And the city had a very different way of doing business back then, something that's not in line with the standard practice. We put a stop to it, but we're still dealing with the issue. But I'll let you kind of discuss a little bit on that building commission, Mayor, and what that means for Donna and what this means for the community, right?
Well, thank you for that, Mr. Pena. We talk about beautification, we talk about change and so forth, and you hit it. You hit the nail on the head right there. People aren't used to change. Change is hard. Change can be hard and so forth. But I've always heard it. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. If we want to do things different, we want to do things different. This commission is committed again to do things different because we deserve more. You all deserve more. And we talk about beautification and so forth. We want to talk about beautification all the time, but priority is the safety of the community. And you're right. You drive around the city of Donna. I'm retired now, so I can do that. I drive around all over, and there's so many buildings, there's homes that are abandoned, that are, they, apart from looking bad, it creates a safety issue. You might have kids, you might have people that just wander in there to either do drugs, do other things that, we don't want them to do. We do have a police department that's always out there, they're vigilant on these things, but there's so many houses out there, and some of you may be living next to some of these houses, these houses that need to be torn down. So we do have that building commission that's coming up. We will get some members from the community to be part of that commission, where they can, it's going to, what's the word? It's going to make it easier for us to go out there and address, these buildings, make sure that we take care of them, that we, in a sense, demolish them, clean up the area, make it more beautiful. Maybe a developer will come in and build something there. Residents coming in, they want to buy that property, build a nice home there. I think that's a win-win situation for everybody. But building commission, it was approved at the last meeting. We will be getting members to that committee and looking forward to that, to addressing all those dilapidated buildings and homes throughout the community. So those of you that have sent me texts about, hey, this home, or hey, I can't this is my home, but I don't have the money to demolish it and so forth. We'll be talking to you because we're going to clean up the city. We deserve it. We deserve to beautify this community. Anything else on that?
No, just again, Maricela, before you add to it, just bear with us. Look, we're here to work with you. If you get a notice from our office, contact our office. My staff is here. You can ask for the city manager. You can ask for the assistant city manager. That's if you haven't already called the mayor himself, right? You're always welcome to send us a direct email. My personal email here at the city is jpena, JPENA at thecityofdonna.org. If you have any concerns regarding these efforts, if you are the owner of a home you inherited and it's got sentimental and emotional value, and you're really worried about the city and the city enforcing this, come talk to us. Talk to your elected official, talk to your mayor, and let's work together. At the end of the day, this does not apply for everyone, but it does apply for a few that I would imagine maybe don't have the financial stability right now to upkeep that home. But if we don't know that, we're more than likely going to enforce this ordinance. Again, this is all in the best interest of the community. This is all part of the process of getting rid of all those work clothes, raggedy clothes that we got, and really suiting ourselves up so that we can attract the best people to our community. I just want to reiterate why it is that we're doing what we're doing. We're beautifying the city, Mayor, so that we can attract good businesses that are going to bring jobs, that are going to bring opportunities to this community, not just to employ our own, but also to provide those services that we so much need. I had a conversation with the guy from HEB when I first came in, because you asked me, go and find out what's up with HEB. Are they coming? Are they not coming? And there was all sorts of myths, right? False promises, if you want to say. I showed up and I said, hey, real nice to meet you, man. When was the last time the city came here? He said, last time someone came here was a few months ago, in over 3.5 years. Oh, really? What was that about? Just to let me know that you guys are picking up our trash, which is unfortunate because in that conversation, we recognize two things. Number one, we recognize that there's a need. We recognize that Donna deserves what Westaco has, what Alamo has, what San Juan has, which is a big HEB. They recognize that too, but what they also did not know, and they recognize now, is that the north side of Donna, where the mall, where the outlets are at, and I keep saying mall, so I'm thinking we're going to have a mall here, because I keep saying that, I think it's maybe my subconscious, but there's such an in-market in that area. There's so much development happening besides the shops. You have Walmart. Walmart is one of our largest gross sales in the entire Rio Grande Valley here in Donna. There's major development happening to the north side, 8th Street, 9th Street, and Parriba, right? You have major infrastructure improvements coming. You have Nolana. Thanks to Commissioner David Fuentes and Judge Cortez, they're expanding Nolana from 88 all the way to McAllen. That's a major corridor. And also being studied right now is 495, Mayor. So when you have major infrastructure roads that are going to go from 28 feet to about 120 feet, 110 feet right away, right? You're looking at corner stores. You're looking at, subdivisions that are closed. You're looking at really nice things that are going to make this city a very attractive city where people don't just want to go and call it home, but people want to call it home. They can work there. They can learn there. That's one of our next big things, Mayor, bringing in an education, a technical school, a college. So the sky's the limit, but yes, sir, those are all things that we're doing in hopes to really attract people, to make Donna the next big city. And I don't like to compare myself to neighbors, because one of our good friends came in. He's like, you're not going to pass your neighbors. You're going to leapfrog over them. That's exactly what we're going to do. What are you doing? Maricela, you were saying?
I just wanted to go ahead and let the community know that these are all efforts that the city is doing. This one in particular, the podcast, is to bring this education, already transparency. This is a new administration that we're bringing over to you. The purpose of these things are to also let you know about upcoming community events. Also, we do have C-Click Fix. That's another actual component that we do have on our city website. That you also can use to go ahead and submit, the complaints, or I should say not complaints, but more of notifications if there is a pothole, for example, or if there is a sign that we need to update. Those are information that you can send in. So I would say visit C-Click Fix so you can submit your information. maybe post a picture. If you have a picture, you can submit it through the ClickFix, and that's something that's kind of like a work order system that we will receive, and so that we can go and submit it over to the departments as well. So that's one component. Another thing is that, as George mentioned, in the future, we're also looking and working on making maybe like a workshop, that maybe with our planning department, bringing that so that way constituents can come and visit our planning department. What was another one that you were looking at?
So yes, and Mayor, and I think we spoke about this. So I think the idea is to open up our doors either once a week or once a month. So we're having two big initiatives, and this is not just for developers, business owners, but this is for the community themselves, right? So our doors will be open, and don't quote me on this. Again, the planning directors is setting the schedule, but either we're going to start off once a month or once a week. I think it'll be the first XYZ date of the month. They've drafted the flyer, but the idea here is anybody who's at interest in putting a business or building in Donna, right, or actively building, come talk to your planning director, talk to your fire marshal, because we now have a fire marshal, full-time fire marshal, talk to your code enforcer, talk to your leadership, and ask about the rules and regulations to build and what it is that you can and cannot build. Again, the ordinances are very antiquated. As we enforce, as we look at things, we realize that most of these need to be brought up to par. But like Maricela said, our doors are going to be open here, Mayor, as per your request and the council's request, so that we can educate on anybody who has any questions, any concerns. The other day we had a business come in. I said, what can I do? And I applaud the lady, man. She's a smart lady. She came in with her engineer and I guess her consulting for construction. And she said, hey, we want to buy land, but before we do the process, we want to know what we can. What are the restrictions? I thought that was pretty genius of her, and that's exactly how you put a good business plan in place before you even buy it. Everybody comes in, talks to the city, and so because of that, we learned that, okay, we need to do this more frequently. And so, like Maricela said, we're going to open up our doors, Mayor, for the constituents, for developers, for businesses. Come over, get to know our staff, and more than anything, talk to your fire marshal, planning director, and really know what the guidelines are, and educate us. We don't know unless you tell us. Again, like Maricela said, you can report to us your ClickFix, you can report directly to the mayor, your elected officials, but tell us what those issues are so we can fix them. And I know that you've been very available and resourceful to your community, Mayor. I applaud you for that. Your audience on your Facebook itself is huge. Nonetheless, you can also come talk to us, Maricela here, myself, because the more we know, the more we can address the issues. So that's all I have for that.
Thank you both for those efforts that you put out there for this community. We talk about economic development. You mentioned earlier, Mr. Pena, about recently talking to developers about bringing businesses here, and it's about job creation as well. We want our community to be employed.
So you asked me about the financial help to the city. Well, Mayor, and for the audience and for everybody here, I think it's no secret, and I want to just identify some of the issues that I witnessed as an outsider coming into the city of Donna, right? So the first thing that we did is we took a look at our accounting department, because you really can't operate an organization without knowing the funding behind it, where we spend our money and things like that. And so besides all the, unorthodox, I guess you want to call it, business practices that were happening here in Donna, which were really controlled, we did come and stumble on a $1.4 million accounting discrepancy. That was a mis-entry. It had to do with the solid waste coming in. And so what that means for Donna and what that means for the community, and especially the directors, is that we assumed that we had more monies coming in than what we actually had. So the standard practice back then was we were living check by check, or like the song goes, living on a miracle, right? So we realized quick that we did not have the 1.4 million that we thought we had. And so that budget was immediately reduced. If that wasn't enough, the immigration camp, Maricela and I went out there and we walked it, and I remember I was like, well, there's nobody really here. And so we met the CBP agent at the time, who has since retired. And he said, Mr. Pena, at one point we were housing 7,000 to 8,000 immigrants here. Yeah, well, that doesn't look like 7,000 or 8,000 immigrants to me. He said, no, sir. I said, but know that when it was a full house, we were doing our job, Border Patrol. They said, and right now he said, well, it's an empty house. Yes, so we're doing our job. I said, okay, wow. Unfortunately, that came at a cost of Donna, Mayor. Viewers, the city was very, very dependent on this funding. And what did this funding look like? Well, a $600,000 lease on our industrial park that is going away come January. That's gone. And then another $500,000 in estimated revenue that we're making off of the water and out of the wastewater charges that we're charging the plant, every year. That has since gone. And the way the city was managed before, they were really, the accounting practices in place were just not in line with the city that is preparing themselves for growth. So we did recognize that we lost the immigration camp. So between the immigration camp and the accounting discrepancy, that puts us at about 2.6 million, 2.5 million, right? Not to mention the property next to it that was being rented out for another $250,000. They left. We had a projected 8% sales tax growth because every year, interesting fact, and again, I said this in the meeting, the city of Donna's valuation has gone from $750 million in a span of 7-8 years to $1.2 billion, or idling around that. That's an amazing amount of growth. That means your city doubled in size. Rooftops, houses, development, like the shops at 495, things like that came in. And why is that important? Because without that, we don't generate revenue. And general fund comes from that property tax. Not only that, but our sales tax has grown 30+% over the last 5 to 7 years. And a lot of it is contributed to Walmart and, of course, the shops at 495. And so I think the city was on a trajectory of meeting the same goals this year, and that's not the case. For those of you guys that are tuning into the media, we know that this new administration is really focusing on immigration control, right? We are a border town. The entire Rio Grande Valley is a border community, right? We have been impacted massively. These ICE raids, the Border Patrol vigilance that's out there, it has declined. It has impacted the loss of tourism, the loss of crossings into our country that have all impacted our sales tax. So our sales tax has declined quite a bit at some point, some months. When you compare this year to the previous year, we took a decrease instead of an increase, right? So we lost that. We've now starting to see a slow climb on the southbound trucks, all because, we want to credit our marketing efforts that we've been doing. But the crossings have decreased, and it's not just us, it's regionally. And then, of course, we had this solid waste program that was rolled out without a real plan in place, and that was coming at a cost to the city on overtime. It was poor staffing, poor routes. There was over 1,000 cans that we recovered that were not being billed for, Mayor, and I think our report reflects that. Now we're capturing at least half of that cost. Then we have other water accounts with North Alamo that had not applied the solid waste charge. So again, we ran an audit and we were able to do that. So when we look at the financial health of the city, you would think that we were in bad shape just by giving you this report, right? But the first thing that we did, Mayor, is within that first month, we recognized that we had issues. So we brought those departments. Now I was here and you hired me at the time as a temporary. I was here to fill a spot while the city decided what they were going to do. I was the interim. But even as the interim, coming as an assistant chief of staff for Hidalgo County Precinct 1, even I know that you have to manage your books, you have to manage your accounts. And so what we did, Mayor, is we started reviewing our budgets, and thanks to all our directors, Maricela, our accountants, we were able to narrow that down and we were able to adjust our budget. So when people hear, well, you're doing different things, well, yes, we are. We are doing different things. We are added components. We've saved a lot of money by doing budget cuts. We revised how we do our solid waste. We needed more staff because they were getting a numerous amount of overtime. We have since reduced the overtime, not just in the solid waste, but in the police department, the utility department, previous leadership. They were just excessive on their costs. They were doing a lot of overtime. We did a work process analysis and we restructured how we do things. Now with a new director, we're no longer capturing that much overtime. And yeah, you do have your overtime. So I was excited, Mayor, and I know the council and you were too, that our new accountant, our CPA, Joe Garcia, he's a local. He's been here in Donna for a very long time. He gave us a quick report, and really what that report signaled was that Donna will finish the fiscal year, which is September 30th or September 31st. They will finish in the black. And there's black and there's red in accounting. Accounting, when you're in the red, you're in the negative. When you're in the black, you're in the positive. Through gripping here, tightening there, revisiting how we do things, we were able to overcome all of this decrease in funding by just simply changing the way we do things. And we're going to finish off the fiscal year with possibly $100,000+ in the bank, Mayor, which is music. I know it's music 2 years, but we're going to finish off in a positive. Now, I foresee that number of that we're currently projected to be reduced through unexpected expenses, breakdowns, and stuff like that. But we're on a good course, Mayor. And again, and I'll let you ask me here a little bit about how it is that we got there. Besides revisiting how we spend our money, we've also, thanks to your support in the council, we've revisited how the city was structured. And we'll talk a little bit, but really quick, Mayor, the way the city was structured previous to you and I being here was pro-workforce. And I think it's no secret, the city of Donna has been extremely generous with his workforce. And we'll talk a little bit about that here. But in a nutshell, Mayor, this fiscal year, before we talk about the next fiscal year and next budget, this fiscal year, I'm happy to report that we're going to finish on a positive by doing what's right, paying our bills, and adjusting our budgets, considering all the loss. So yes, sir.
No, thank you for that information. Yes, one of the first things that we told you was it was something that was out of hand. It was overtime, and I'm not going to single out any department and so forth. It was running rampant throughout the city, and right now overtime is cut to very limit. Make no doubt, community, that our city is priority. We love all our employees here. Believe me, we have great employees, very skilled employees, but we need to look out for the health, especially the financial health of this city, and that's what we're doing. We are going to make decisions. Some of them are going to be tougher than others and so forth, but always with the end goal being what's in the best interest of this city. You mentioned, previous administrations and so forth, that the priority was employees in the sense of high compensation and so forth. We're taking a look at that. Our council is all in agreement that we need to take a look at the compensation scale and so forth. We need to make sure that we are doing our duty when it comes to the financial status of this city. Something else that you want to add as far as general fund, as far as our workforce and anything like that, Mr. Bennett?
Oh, absolutely, Mayor. So again, I want to, because she's here, I want to credit Maricela. So how did we get our budget down? Simple. We added a 2-step process. Nobody was reviewing things before. People were just buying things. We came in and we put in a very different mindset. Now we have criteria on what you can and cannot spend your money on. We've been very transparent. We've solicited services for the best, most cost-effective service. So instead of people shopping around, we now have a list of the person that they're going to, or the companies are going to go to. And this is based on a procurement process, right? But Maricela, who's here, now serves as the gatekeeper to an extent. So we have a 2-step process. It runs through her first. She does the initial evaluation that goes over to the finance director. Once all that's in order, and we know for a fact they're following procurement standards, then it comes to me and I sign off on it. Whereas before, it was bring your purchase request to the finance department. They wouldn't question, they would just process. We recognized major issues with that. Maricela, you want to elaborate a little bit on how that experience has been? Because there's been an experience, especially when you kind of tell everybody, like, stop spending. You're going to bring me your request on this day. You're going to give me 3 to 5 days to evaluate. So just getting them out of that mindset of spending money like if it was their own and really getting them to understand that this is taxpayer money. This is not their money. This is not our money. This is your money. Money that's been entrusted, for us to manage appropriately. And again, the mayor and the council wanted more fiscal responsibility. That's what we did. But let's tell us a little bit about your experience. I know when I came in, it was a shocker.
Yeah.
Especially to all the department heads. Like, nope, you can't spend your money no more like that.
Yes, basically the administration just went ahead and developed the process to where we went out with our department heads, met with them on a one-on-one, just explaining to them that looking at their budget and whatever was budgeted for them to closely monitor that. And also just there was going to be a process. So anything that was going to be purchased was going to be vetted, make sure that they had 3 quotes brought in, looking at the lowest bid and making sure that it was something that was going to be needed for their O&M. Once that was brought in, cross-reference everything, make sure everything was properly vetted, and then we go ahead and proceed with finance. If it fit in their criteria for their O&M, then it was go ahead and proceed with the process.
Yeah, again, Mayor, you got the calls. The city manager, but the truth be told, the lack of leadership, the lack of direction, the lack of really regulating was missing. And so we brought that in. Again, not very favorable in the beginning. I think now it's very much appreciated just because we're not only have we got, one of the things that we did do, I think I mentioned this, is that we put all our department heads, most of them, or the majority of them, through Texas Municipal League, which is a state agency, on procurement practices. So I said, you know what? Nope, you're going to be spending taxpayer money. Go get trained on the rules, regulations, the do's, the don'ts, because if you break that, I will hold you responsible. And so they drove up to Brownsville and they got educated on how to spend their money. So yes, sir, those were some of the efforts that we put in place. And now I'm proud to announce that our department heads, they're exceptional. You have been part of our strategic planning meetings, and we call them planning meetings. They're really internal workshops that we do. And you've learned a lot, Mayor, like I've learned a lot about each department, right? Anything before I talk about the general fund and our findings?
Well, I do want to applaud both of you for your efforts. I want to applaud Mr. Joe Garcia as well for being very active, and his department as well. Been very active in these, strategic planning meetings. I've been here at City Council 3 as a council member, or as a commissioner, and 2 as a mayor so far. I've never had these strategic planning meetings like you all had, and I was privy to that. And I was engaged in those, but we also bring in, we don't make decisions out here without the directors. We need to hear from them as well. So every director, the police chief, the fire chief was here, and we get information from them. We get their input. You all got feedback from them and so forth, and to roll out a good, clean budget. So I want to thank both of you, Mr. Joe Garcia, his staff, and so forth, for the amazing job that you're doing here for the cities.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, the purpose of the strategic planning meetings is to develop a strategy on where we're headed, not just with the department, but the city as a whole, right?
Well, let me add one more thing.
Yes.
When I first came in as commissioner, I don't know, back in 2020, I believe, so forth, and again, I say I wasn't part of strategic planning meetings like you all have now and so forth. I remember my first time coming as commissioner and walking into a meeting. They gave me a binder about this size, and I said, well, "What's this?" I said, "Well, that's the budget you're about to vote on." What? No, things are done differently. Again, we're doing things differently because you all deserve it, and that's why we've stayed stagnant for all these years. But our city is moving up. I'm excited about what's coming to the city, what we're doing now to prepare for the bright future that's ahead for the city of Don.
You hear my name, Mayor? Premeditated decisions is what I call it. Was a thing of the norm, and hence the reason why you had 5-10-minute meetings versus your hour-long meetings with me. But
hour long. I wish it was an hour long. We're on there 4 or 5 hours. So, but you all deserve it. We take into account everything. We do our due diligence again on what needs to be done in the best interest of the city.
So I'll be brief because we said we were going to keep this at 30 minutes. I think we're about to hit an hour, which is fine. If we still have you engaged, and that's great. But in essence, here is the meat and potatoes of this podcast, and really where we're going to get to. So we were able to overcome our first obstacle, which was we started 100 yards behind the 40-yard start line. And I always say the start line to the 40-yard things. I played football. You were a coach. Usually anybody who plays football, they ask, what's your 40 rate? How fast were you? Well, I wish I could say I ran a good 40, but when you start off that far behind, I, along with the rest of the team, well, it was a challenge. But then now we're at the starting line, only to find out that that's not what we're working with. And so in our analysis, Mayor, you're right. The city's been extremely generous to its workforce, extremely generous. We had salaries outstanding and just out of the norm. Public works directors, utility work directors, not engineers, making over $140,000. That is unheard of for a community like Donna, especially of this size. It's 3 times, Wesco is about 3 times our size, population almost 50,000. We're at 17. Even they don't pay their directors that much. And so we got rid of that. But in doing so, we learned quick that our entire general fund was mainly consumed by the workforce expense, right? What does that mean? That means compensation for salaries. That means health insurance benefits. That means retirement. And only in Donna is there a very generous longevity program that, it's here, but it's also, it's considered a retention program. These are programs that you hear more in school districts where specialized education is needed. And so they apply these retention programs to ensure that these special skills are maintained in the school district. Whereas here in Donna, everybody had a retention or has a retention program, something that we're currently reconsidering and reevaluating. However, in looking at how our budget was driven, we recognize that 75% plus of our general fund is consumed by the workforce. Now, it's no secret, and it's not the norm for a budget to be consumed over 50% for workforce. Traditionally, you're looking at 60%, mid 60s, upwards up to the high 60s. Really, where you see this concept is more in small towns, where small town politics have a big say, and so you see these excessive salaries. We encountered that, Mayor, and so part of the initiative to drop the total consumption of our general fund to something that's average, it requires us to pay more attention. So how do we drop the consumption of our general fund so that we open up monies? And when I say monies, we open up the funding and shift it from the workforce over to capital improvement projects. And what are capital improvement projects? Were easy infrastructure repairs, infrastructure maintenance, your sewer, your water, your roads, cutting the grass, all that good stuff, right? In order for us to fix the city, we have to put the city first. And so that starts with your budget process, Mayor. And so we identified that it was a rich, plans. And so the first thing that we did, Mayor, is again, we looked at the longevity program. The longevity program is still very much in place, something that's going to be discussed more deeper in the next meetings or so. That program alone is costing the city upwards of $700,000 per year. And every year it grows, right? Again, these are programs that are in place in Donna. They are existing in other communities, but in order for Donna to move forward and fix her infrastructure is something we really need to consider. But what we did reconsider, and we did continue to offer our employees, is our health benefits plan. I shared with you a couple of articles, one for Hidalgo County that made front page, and coincidentally enough, the day after yesterday, we saw San Benito. And so the reality is that one of the things that COVID did is it increased premiums. And whenever premiums are increased, it impacts your pocket. In this case, Mayor, our health insurance is rich, extremely rich. Donna was giving the best, and again, we have the best staff, but you have to take a step back and you have to sacrifice a little to put your community first, right? So what did we do? We revisited our health benefits. While some of our neighboring communities are seeing an increase, we reevaluated, we redesigned our health benefit package. We're still giving our employees free health care, excellent health care. Medications stayed the same. Copay stayed the same, which is something that everybody liked. And the only thing that changed was deductible, but the employee himself, for a fraction of the cost, has an opportunity to go into a buyout program. But what that did for the city, it saved us over $250,000, man. So in line with making sure that we meet this new budget, right? So the second thing that the city approved, again, as a person walking in, We have salary scales or salary schedules that were set before COVID. I think 2019 was what the ordinance said, right, Marisela? Yes. 2019 was before COVID. What we've learned is that after COVID, the cost of living has gone up excessively, right? Up to upwards of 30%. We also learned, Mayor, that previous leadership, prior to your time, had a very, extraordinary way of giving raises. It's just not in line with your standard practice. There's some employees that are referenced in 2019 salary scale to be, let's just say 40,000. But I'm coming in here and I'm seeing them making 90,000. Just doesn't go in line with what the standard practice should be. Meritorious raises, politically influenced. Again, that's the word out there. My job's not to really ask. My job's to identify the issue and fix it. And so because of that, Mayor, you and the council recognize this. Again, it's no secret. We're now reevaluating to make sure that we're paying our staff in Donna, they're properly, adequately, and equitably being compensated, because it's just, from looking at it, it just doesn't make any sense. All that makes sense is that it's consuming a big portion of our general fund. So yes, sir, we revisit our health benefits and save the city over $250,000. We're revisiting our longevity. That discussion is coming up, and we've now launched a compensation study. Unfortunately, this comes at a cost, and it comes at even my cost, Mayor. As you know, that I took a step back on my pay, and I'm first to say that in order for these changes to happen, it starts at the top, right? So we revisited my own salary, a conversation I've had with the staff already. How it's going to impact them at this point, we don't know yet, but it will impact them. Why? Because we're shifting the focus from workforce to city. And like the city of LA put it, and while they're shooting for the Olympics, we're shooting for growth through the International Bridge. You can't recruit the Olympics to LA. Again, this is Los Angeles Mayor, if you're not putting your city first. And so they've lived off over 2,500 people in Los Angeles. That is not our plan here. We're not going to lay anybody off. Our plan here is simple, is to make the compensation equitable, equal, and again, fair to what the cost of living is. So yes, Mayor, these are all efforts that we've launched in hopes to really bring that budget within and put our community first now more than ever. So that's the financial state of the city, Mayor. Again, I can talk, but I think it's important that the community, those that don't want to sit there for hours, that you tune in. This podcast, again, I think the plan is to have it every Thursday, maybe around lunch or so that you have a really good understanding what is it we talked about in our city meetings, and you hear from us speaking a little bit more elaborately, right? So anything else on that, man, would you like to ask me?
No. I think you said the meats and potatoes of what's coming up and what we've discussed, and I think it's very important that we continue to make sure that our focus and everything that we do, all the decisions are in the best interest of the city. And I think we're doing that. We want to keep all our staff. Like I've said before, we have amazing people working here at this city. But our priority is going to be our city, because that's what we were elected for. And again, I don't know if anybody has anything else, but this is something new in the name of transparency. We continue to be transparent with our community when it comes to letting you all know exactly what decisions are made here in the city. I know those of you that have lived here forever, like I have forever and a day, have never had this type of transparency happen from city government. But we're here for you. I don't know if y'all have anything else to say before I close it out.
School's getting ready to start.
Yes.
Excited that Hester Avenue is going to be opened up on the east side. Mayor, for the community that's listening, that's a big win for the school district. That's a big win for our community. This was a $1 million+ project that was built by Donna, and the materials were paid by the school district, saving the city up to $1 million, saving the taxpayer, really, because we both taxpayer pays city and school district dollars, right? But expect that. Again, it's back to school. a bunch of different activities happening over the weekend. We just ask you to be safe. We wish the Donna ISD, both campuses, North and Donna High and Donna North, a successful year for all your graduates of this year. We're excited. Look out for the first of its kind tow company scholarship. And hopefully here soon, another scholarship fund by the mayor and the council, right? We're going to put our efforts in there and see how it is that we can involve with our cities. But one thing we do know is that the tow company has already approached us, the Tow Company Association, and has pledged to raise monies to give to our students on behalf of the mayor, the council, the city of Donna, and all its leadership. So welcome back, students. Make sure, teachers, you go out to eat, you spend your taxpayer dollars, you spend your dollars here in our community. Make sure you fill up, spend your money at our local HBs, local restaurants, and know that you can always count on City Hall for all your needs that we can help you with. So thank you, Mayor, for that.
In closing, this is our first All Heart podcast. I want to thank my guest, Ms. April Castañeda, that was here earlier, our EDC Executive Director, Ms. Marcela Gonzalez, our Assistant City Manager, and of course, to my right, our City Manager, Mr. Jorge Peña. This, again, full transparency, coming straight to you from the heart of the valley, doing great things for you. Excited, proud mayor right here for the city of Donna, because I know great things are coming. God bless each and every one of you, and may God continue to bless Donna, Texas.